Aloha, this is Kat, and I want to talk about ancestors today. What do we mean when we think of our ancestors? Are those the ones that we have known in our life, like our grandparents, or maybe if we're really lucky, our great-grandparents? Are we thinking of ancestors as they go back generations and generations from other countries from where we have been born? As we come up on Samhain and we are thinking about, I see all these people that are making ancestor altars. It got me thinking about ancestors. And I had my grandmother's shower this week. And we went around and we talked about grandparents. And as I've mentioned, so many people had never known their grandparents. One of the things, I was in the car with my husband and I said, "What was the name of your grandmother?" And he said, "I don't remember. I don't know. I think maybe it was Edna." And it reminded me of a show I saw one time where people asked people in the street, "What is your grandparents' name?" And a lot of them just said, "Grandma." And they never knew their first name at all or last name. And so my challenge is this week, as we prepare for Samhain, to see if you can name your grandparents. Both sets, Grandma and Grandpa, their first and their last name. And what was your mother's maiden name? And what was your grandmother's maiden name? See how far back you can go. It's very interesting when I realize that I'm kind of in this wonderful, unique space of where I am going to be a grandmother. And I have some kind of a memory of my grandparents, whether they were already dead before I was born. At least my mother or father would say something or refer to them. Or I did get to know my one grandmother. And I also, so I've got that space where I can go back to my parents and my grandparents. And I have that space where I can go down to the future generations of my son and daughter and now my grandchildren. And so that's a very unique space to be in, kind of like a very sacred center of the generations. So think about it. Can you name your grandparents, first and last name? And then once you get that, you might be curious to see where they were born. Aloha, this is Kat.